Let's talk about two interesting pitchers and then get you ready for Week 21 next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Friday the 13th. Ooh, Frank Stanfield joined by Scott White. I mentioned we have two interesting pitchers. They are two very different pitchers. Let's start off with Tanner Houck, who made his return to the Red Sox rotation, going up against the Tampa Bay Rays on Thursday. 5 innings, 4 runs, not great, but 8 strikeouts and 18 swinging strikes. Scott, I know you are very excited about Tanner Houck.
I am very excited about Tanner Houck, even though this wasn't a great start in terms of ERA. He looked really good stuff-wise. He had 18 swinging strikes and, on a bunch of different pitches. He got 7 on the fastball, 3 on the slider, 3 on the splitter, 5 on the sinker, really full arsenal. And in 5 starts now since returning from the minors, Tanner Houck has a 2.21 ERA, a .98 whip, 14.2 strikeouts per 9 innings. Really impressive stuff. The swinging strike rate is high. The ground ball rate is high. The xFIP, I think, is just over 2. So Houck's look great. I mean, the reason we haven't made a big deal of him yet is because the starts have been so short and we didn't know how long he'd stick around. But the Red Sox just moved Garrett Richards to the bullpen to clear a spot for Houck. And now we saw him just go 5 innings. So it looks like he's here to stay.
Someone else who has been a mainstay for, well, at least for last year in our lineups was Marco Gonzales. This year, not so much until just recently. He went up against Texas on Thursday, complete game, 1 run, 9 strikeouts, and over his last 5 starts, he has a 1.68 ERA. Who does he face next week? The Texas Rangers, Scott.
Yeah, for the 3rd time in 4 starts. It's the worst offense in baseball, clearly. It was bad even when Joey Gallo was there, and now it's just a cakewalk. And after throwing this complete game against him here on Thursday, I suspect Marco Gonzales is going to have another good start against them next week. And, it's been a good 5-start stretch. So he hasn't just picked on the Rangers. Good track record. He may be coming around. I don't think there's huge upside here, but certainly with the right matchups, Marco Gonzales is a guy worth using again.
Yeah, the upside is not nearly as high as someone like Tanner Houck, but if you need a streamer for next week, Texas Rangers, that'll get it done for Marco Gonzales. Speaking of next week, let's get you ready for Week 21. Scott, how about you get us started here with some 2-start pitchers for next week?
All right, so the most attractive that's highly available is Touki Toussaint. Since he got called up, 4 of his 5 starts have been no worse than decent. A couple of great ones, 1 really bad one. Before the 5 have been fine. And he's at Miami, at Baltimore this week. 2 good matchups. He's my favorite. Tarek Skubal coming off back-to-back scoreless outings. Not the best matchups versus the Angels and Blue Jays, but he's capable of dominating at times, and it's 2 matchups. So that's good. David Price against the Pirates, against the Mets. I like those matchups. Not so clear that he's going to go more than 5 innings. The Dodgers haven't shown much interest in using him more than that, but you do like the matchups there for David Price. And then another really interesting one is Vladimir Gutierrez, who himself looked really good on Thursday. Another quality start, 1 earned run in 6 innings. That's 6 quality starts in his last 7. And his opponents are the Cubs, who, of course, don't have much left in their lineup, and the Marlins, who have had a bad lineup all season long.
If you do need some single start streamers, and you can find these again in Scott's pitching planner for next week, Patrick Sandoval at the Tigers, Logan Webb, who put up another great start on Thursday. He's going up against the Mets. We have Josiah Gray at the Brewers. Ranger Suarez transitioned from being the closer for the Phillies. Now he's back in the rotation. He's at the Diamondbacks next week. And then we have Michael Pineda versus Cleveland. How about on the hitter side of things, Scott? Who are some sleeper hitters in Week 21?
Really like AJ Pollock. For some reason, people have been slow to pick him up. He's been one of the hottest hitters since the All-Star break. Good 7-game slate in which the Dodgers have the second best matchups. And with Mookie Betts going back on the IL, playing time's not going to be an issue for Pollock. So Pollock's the main choice. I like Luke Voit. Obviously, Anthony Rizzo is still out. The Yankees play 8 games. I like CJ Cron with the Rockies going back home. He had 4 home runs there in Week 19. His home splits are awesome. And two hitters who have been trendy pickups lately, Rafael Ortega and Anthony Santander. Their matchups are good enough that I would stick with them as hot hand plays.
Yeah, we spoke about both of those guys earlier in the week, Santander and Ortega. I know Kyle Farmer is another one who's been really hot. He's got 7 games at home next week in Great American Ballpark. That is a great hitting environment. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again on Monday. Bye-bye.